Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ammunation. I'm your host, Craig Bragg. With me tonight is my co-host, Mr. Irving Twin, the ineffable Irving Twin. How are you, sir?
Living the dream. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I have a filter running. Twin thinks I'm a faker and a loser for using a filter, but that's okay. So StreamYard has a little checkbox that says "touch up your appearance."
I
So,
said none of those things.
so
Okay. I
he's
just
like,
went,
"No, don't do it with your damn filters." Anyway, so if you touch up your appearance,
filters.
it removes kind of your fucking crow's feet and stuff like that. We got a couple people in the chat already. We got Miss CMAC. Welcome back, CMAC. It's been a while.
Welcome back, CMAC.
I hope there's drink tonight. I started early. Sorry. Hey, don't ever apologize for tying one on, as it were. And then we got Mr. Ben Felson. Let's go. I think he chatted that while the intro was running because people are
Yeah,
getting used to the intro now.
that
And then
intro
Mr.
was
Fox
wild.
Toxic says, whoop. Welcome, you three. Welcome everybody else who's watching. Make yourselves known in the chat, and we'll get you guys entertained for the evening, or at least for a couple hours anyway. The hope is we will. Welcome to the Ammunation, as they say. So, Twin, how was your week? How things been going?
It's been going. We're barely 2 weeks in, and it's always like, this is one hell of a year, 2025.
I know, right? I
It's
know, right?
wild, and I don't want any part of it. I'm done. This is now strictly a fitness channel. Fit pushing 50. We're gonna work on that, focus on that. That's all I'm doing now. Like, I don't remember going to work. I don't remember chatting with friends and family. I remember going to the gym. It's been a good week of
Yeah,
fitness.
you and I were talking beforehand. It's like since I've been going back to the gym, it's about 2 weeks now. I took like a month hiatus and behaved terribly during that month in terms of my diet and my level of inactivity. But since I'm going back to the gym, now all I can think about is when am I going to the gym tonight? What time am I going to fit in my gym session? It's the thing I'm going to miss it when I switch from Good Life back to Movati because Good Life is 24 hours, so I can go like 10 p.m. and not have to
Yeah.
work. Whereas Movati closes at midnight, which I can still do. It's not a big deal, but midnight or 11. The weekends, it's only like they're only open till like 10, but I think they're open until midnight through the week. I'll have to double check. In any event, yeah, now it's all just a matter of me like looking for when am I going to go to the gym. Speaking of which, do you even lift, bro? How was your fitness journey this week, sir?
Fitness journey. Not everything's a journey. It's just shit I do. 6? Yeah, no. But it is going really well. I don't know if like what's happened is like diet, mindset, whatever, but I am, yeah, making gains. That's right, gains and shit.
Games, bro.
Pushing more weight and
Yeah, pushing. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to this location where there's a bunch of other people and a bunch of weird looking equipment, and I pick stuff up and I move it. And then when I'm
yeah.
done, I feel tired and sore. And the next day, I feel even more sore, but I feel better about myself. That's essentially what going to the gym is.
And in terms of remember our goals in particular, right,
Yeah.
are not like bodybuilding. It's not like it's
Well,
I don't want to hate myself when I see myself naked in the mirror. I
right.
want to go,
I'm in
oh,
the same boat, but I do have a goal,
sure,
which I've been talking about for 2 years. I want to look like Captain America. And as I get older, it's going to be a lot harder to get that physique. But I think I can do it even with a few wrinkly spots and some flabby bits here and there. I don't care. As long as when I put on the suit, I look like a superhero. That's the hope. That's the plan. Because Fan Expo's coming in August, man, and Canada Day is coming in July. So I want to be at a point where when I put on the suit, it looks like a superhero, not just a guy in a suit.
right,
So yeah.
yeah. And I mean, like, there's
Hey, buddy.
there's points of quick gains, and then there's points of stagnation, and point where you look at yourself in the mirror and go, oh wow, that happened. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, meh. I've just come out of a point where meh, every time I see myself, like, I'm not like, oh, that's gross. It's just like it doesn't seem to be improving.
Right.
But this week, this year, right, like 2025, I'm looking in the mirror going, really? Am I imagining that, or is something happening? And then I get in front of the
You can
camera,
definitely
and
see it. You can
it
definitely
all
see it. Like you and I are different phenotypes, right? Like I'm 6 foot something, 6'2", I think.
Yeah.
And you're like 5'9", 5'10"?
5'10".
Yeah. So like there's a difference there, right? So and you're a smaller frame guy. I've always had broad shoulders ever since I was little. So as the muscle gets added on, you're gonna see it differently, right? Yours is much more visible. When I look at you, when I saw that picture of you with your shirt off at the back, I was like, holy fuck, the guy's got a cobra back. I don't have that. I've got a couple of little parts that come out near my armpits that look like this, and that's about it.
Well, but I'll tell you a secret, Manlet Irving. Yes, thank you, Nana. King of the Man. No, the Manlet Princes. 5'11" is king of the manlets, and 5'10" is yeah.
Princes?
I dwell among the manlet princes.
Man Reaper in the house. Manlet, or oh, he's the one who's in Manlet Irving. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no. So
no, what was I? No, yeah. You know what part of that is? My waist is smaller. I'm not carrying as much fat because I started at a different point than you did, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And yeah, like I'm planning ahead, and like there's this. Oh, you're like we were just talking about this. You're like, oh, August, right? Got to look like this, and I was talking about almost half seriously. No. I think there's a hole in fitness, right? You know the way people watch that shit.
I don't care how tall you are. I tell people around the low branches. You know how many times I fucking clunk my head on shit that other people would never have to worry about? There's not a single trunk that I don't hit my head on. Like my wife has a SUV.
Yeah.
It lifts up at the back and lifts up enough for any normal person to put shit in and pull shit out. Every time I pull something out, I forget it is there and I hit the back of my head. Every time. And how many times have I gone into this fucking vehicle? I don't know. Innumerable number of times. Yeah.
You're
Incredible.
gonna have CTE from the fucking hatchback of your wife's SUV.
Tall man problems, exactly.
Yeah,
Pox is a big guy. He's taller than me, I think. Manlet Princess can't relate.
Nope. I don't have that problem.
You're also the last to know when it's raining.
By like, half a second.
Yeah, the raindrops take longer to hit you. What you're saying is your wife's SUV needs a lift kit. Yes, and those big fucking monster truck tires. Absolutely. Irving and I are the same height. Yeah, you know what? You guys are average height. Average height is 5'10" for men. It's like 5'5" for women. So don't worry about it. I'm above average height only because my dad's above average height. So, and I look like a clone of my fucking father. It's crazy. I even have this little bump, like it's like a little mole, like an invisible mole on my forehead. It's got the exact same one.
Weird.
It is weird.
At least you're actually his son.
You're the youngest, right?
No, middle.
You're the middle. Did
you tell I'm a middle child?
I don't buy in for all that stuff. Did your sister ever try and convince you that you were adopted?
Yeah, of course, because she was 7 years older than me too, right?
Oh, depends on your generation. That's true too, and country of origin is true. In North America, for the longest time, 5'10" was male, 5'5" was female. But my brother tried to tell me I was adopted, and he used to say it with such frequency that one time I said, "Mom, am I adopted?" And my mom just laughed at me. She says, "Look at you and your father. You're exactly the same. You're not adopted. If anything, he's adopted." He doesn't really look like he looks like the men on my mom's side of the family, but he doesn't look at all like my dad, right? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a clone.
But no, I was saying like there seems to be a hole in this fitness online nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
There's the crazy science people, there's the roid lifters for bodybuilding, there's get your supermodel body fast people, and it's like, how about like regular lifting and exercise?
There's the homoerotic infused manlet Mike Israetel, who's constantly making gay jokes every time he makes a video. He's constantly talking about how hot Dwayne the Rock Johnson is.
Yeah, like
Thor and whoever else he's like critiquing.
But how about just like regular people, right?
Mhm.
You know, like we should have there should I don't know if there's regular people, fitness people. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so you're not going to get a supermodel body in 3 months.
No.
You you're not going to, get your dream muscular physique without steroids,
Right.
right? But you can get stronger, stay healthier, and the idea of putting a time limit on it, right? I think that's a bad idea. It's a recipe for disappointment because what
Exactly.
happens, right, is, maybe your best friend is getting real old and dying on you and you're sacrificing everything to spend as much time as possible and that I did it on purpose,
Yeah.
right? It's like I was not going to the gym for like a month
Right.
because that's some time that I can spend with the Gordo, right?
Right.
So that happens. That shit happens to people. And like, if you can do 2 hours, 3 hours a day in the gym, yeah, then you can. But most people have a job or maybe a family and kids and stuff. And it's like, that's not an excuse to not do it, but it's a reason that you can't do it with the same frequency, intensity, and time that other people are doing it. And you should think about it more like rather than I'm going to have accomplish this goal in 3 months is my goal is to do this consistently for the rest of my life,
Right.
always a little bit better,
Right.
right?
They're when they do it online, first off, I think it's the medium that they're in because everything is now trending towards much shorter content. Like everything I see these days is lately shorts, right? I see shorts and then I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'll go back and find the longer form video. But so there's that. So they're trying to give it really quick and I think a lot of them come from the training field, the personal trainers where they are taught as part of their profession to find out what their clients goals are and what the time frame for their goals are, so they
Mm.
they constantly think in that sort of realm that you want to get fit for the summer, so you got beach, bikini body, beach body, physique. That's what they're thinking about. Whereas you're right, you're absolutely right. What they should be doing is much more like guru like work where they're like, look, I want you to stop being unhealthy and become healthy so that when you die, like we're all going to die, you leave behind a good looking corpse that, your best friends aren't going to be, struggling to lift your coffin because you don't weigh 400 pounds. Right. So, yeah, I can't stand shorts. TikTok can't come soon enough. Someone's talking about buying it. Kevin O'Leary's thinking about buying it, eh?
Really?
Yeah, him and another guy in the US are looking at buying it. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube shorts just because I'm at work and I'm bored. And a lot of the long form stuff that shows up in my feed at work because I'm not logged in as me, I'm logged in as work me, is different. Like I'm not looking up, why did the Nazis lose the war when I'm at work? I'm looking up I'm looking up much more, much more, what's the word?
Mundane?
Mundane. There you go. Much more mundane, much more digestible for the masses kind of content. Because I don't want my feed to go to my, the tech supervisor and go, Jesus Christ, this guy looks up a lot of stuff about how to make fucking weapons. Oh shit. Anyway, don't need beach body when you have a yacht.
Yeah, well, I'll put it. Let me put this to you guys. For the average person, it's probably easier and more realistic to get a beach body than a yacht.
Yeah.
So and that thing about like, okay, yeah, you have time constraints. You want this by this time. You know what? I did it backwards. I thought to myself, okay, how much weight do I think I need to lose?
Yeah.
Right? Like I want to lose so many pounds of fat. How long do I think that will take me?
Right.
Then work backwards from that. So now, well in advance, this is just middle of January, right?
Hmm.
I think losing 10 to 12 pounds safely without costing too much muscle, I could do that in, let's say, March, April, May.
Yeah.
So that way in June, as it starts getting warmer and we're hitting the pool and stuff, uh,
You
I've
should buy. You should totally buy a yacht, C-Mac. Everyone should buy. I'd love to have a yacht. I was for a long time. I was going on the there's a rabbit hole on YouTube about people who live aboard. They buy live aboard yachts and that's their home, and they just go
Nice.
from marina to marina and they fucking live there for 3 months at a stretch. Yeah, that'd be a thing. But no, I hear what you're saying. For me, it's like, yeah, I've got a goal. I want to reach it by a certain date. But you know what? When I first started doing this was 2 years ago, and I told my trainer I need to look like Captain America in 9 months. And of course, that didn't fucking happen. No, I lost weight. I put on muscle. But like you said, it's a lifestyle change and it's a habit you have to get into. And you have to decide that this is how you want to live now. And it helps if you've got people at home who are going to encourage you and who are like going to come on board with you. That's why I'm really happy the wife is like saying, yeah, okay, I'll join the gym with you because I can do aquafit. Now it turns out there's not an aquafit we can both do together, which is fine by me, but there's an aquafit that she can do, and at least she's going to the gym. You know what I mean? At least she's getting out there. And if she's at the gym and she's paying for a membership, she's not just going to go once a week to do aquafit. She's going to go and, go on the treadmill, go on the elliptical, go on whatever. So Now Reaper says, just saying it only has 33 feet long and could be considered a yacht, you can get one for under 50K. That's cheaper than a house in Canada. That's true.
Yeah.
But in Canada, there's very few places where you can live aboard a yacht because of the winter, right? Unless you're in a retirement age and you want to take that yacht down the loop and go somewhere south, like South Carolina or Florida or whatever, and moor yourself off the coast of Florida and live there and just take your tender in to get your groceries every week. Yeah, you could totally do that. I would be on board with that. I don't think the wife could do it though. I don't think she could. I don't live by the coast anymore. No, you're in northern Texas, right? Or middle Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, speaking of, I think you have a good idea in terms of having a influencer page or Instagram or YouTube channel devoted to speaking about fitness from the layperson's point of view and for realistic goals. And I'm sure there's people out there filling that niche, but you look at them and they're jacked and you're like, this guy's talking to me like I'm me, but it's tough to sort of draw the connection because I'm looking at him and he's completely different, right? So speaking of which, so in furtherance of this fitness journey, I told you guys a few weeks back that I was thinking of going to a hypnotherapist, see if I could kick this sugar addiction. So I got hypnotized and now I'm a Christian. Sorry, I don't mean to make fun. I'm not really a Christian. I have been thinking about it though lately. And
at least you didn't get magnetized and now you're an atheist who wants open borders.
You know what's weird? Like I still consider myself a non-believer, so to speak.
Sure.
But when I look at atheists on social media, and I look at atheists on YouTube and stuff like that, because there's a guy in my YouTube feed who basically he's an abortion abolitionist, and he stands out in public with these signs stating abortion is murder and all that sort of stuff. Jesus, what? And he speaks from point of view of saving people's souls and coming to Jesus, right? And anytime an atheist gets up there and starts fucking chirping at him, I just cringe. I'm like, fuck, man, you're misrepresenting us. You're so, like, why can't we have atheists who are actually reasonable and willing to listen and being humble? This is the problem I have with atheists, and the atheists accuse Christians of this all the time. Atheists accuse Christians of being, arrogant and knowing that and having blind faith and just claiming they know something that they can't possibly know. But it's like, what they say, when you point your finger, there's three more pointing back at you.
Yeah,
the atheists to a T. They are so arrogant. They are just like they know that you're wrong, and it's like, dude, have some fucking humility. You don't know shit. That's why
humility.
What's that?
They can't have humility because there's nothing higher than them. Their intellect is the high thing in the universe, right?
The government is the higher to them. They worship the state. But not only that, you're right. they see it as like, I am the ultimate mind in this. They have the worst case of main character syndrome that you'd ever want to see. They believe that only it's almost like a solipsistic kind of point of view. The universe exists for them
Yeah.
because there's nothing else to it apart from materialism and the numbers associated with math and science and chemistry and biology. Everything can be explained through materialism, and I'm like, dude, man, you're missing so much, and you don't even have to get high to do it. Okay, let's see here. The jacked ones seem to want to sell me TRT and other vitamins for some reason. Yeah, I think they're preying on the people who they want to accelerate the progress they've made. So, skinny fat guy goes to the gym, he starts to see some muscle go on, but he's still skinny fat, and he's like, oh yeah, I like what I'm getting. This is kind of me. I like what's happening here, but what can I do to just accelerate it, make it go more complete? Like, these last 25 pounds I gotta lose, there's got to be some trick. And so they're looking at, like you said, terkesterone. They're looking at other vitamins, other supplements that are going to help them over the edge. Like I drink an EAA mixture with some creatine and water and ice, and I don't know what benefit it's giving me, but it's one of these rituals I do every day now. I was usually only doing it when I went to the gym. Now I'm doing it every day. Now he's a liberal running.
Creatine I noticed immediately though.
See, I think I might be a non-responder because I'm taking 10 milligrams a day for like weeks now. So I don't know if I noticed it. The fedora is too tempting to tip to the maladies, LOL. Also, the new U.S. possessions loop will be wintering in the U.S. Virgin Islands and summers all off U.S. Greenland. Yep. There you go. So, I went to hypnotist to see if I could kick my sugar addiction. And she made a good point. She said, it's not a sugar addiction. You're looking for adventure. I'm like, I don't know if I'm looking for adventure. She's like, yeah, that's what it is. You're bored, so that's why you snack. I'm like, oh, I know that's why I do it. But the problem is when I start doing it, I can't stop. So that's why. And she's like, it's not addiction. If you're not, this is the thing. I kind of had a difference of opinion with her. I said, sugar's like, she says, it's not really an addiction. It's you're bored and you're trying to fill in your life with a dopamine kick. And I'm like, okay, then if it's not a sugar addiction, it's a dopamine addiction. And she's like, yeah, but unless you're waking up at 2 a.m. in cold sweat and shakes, it's not an addiction. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think there's degrees to addiction, and the fact that, somebody who does that, they're addicted to heroin is because of the nature of the drug. And also because heroin's not something that's part of their daily life, unless, you can make heroin part of your daily life. Most people go without for some period of time. You don't go without sugar if you're eating regularly. And refined sugar is one of these things. It's 9 times as addictive as cocaine. And if you have it readily available, it's still an addiction, even if you're not waking up at 2 a.m. saying, I need a fucking Milky Way. You know what I mean? So
yeah, your thought? Sugar is an addictive chemical.
I agree.
There's no denying that. But yes, it is in things like fruit and vegetables. And so like you can't avoid it, but how much you're consuming versus your sources versus how much other things you're consuming is always going to be the problem, right?
Exactly. But you know what? Here's the thing. Knock wood, or for Micah, or whatever the hell this shit is. I'm 2 weeks now without, snacking on refined sugar. The only sugar I'm getting is from fruit and, peanut butter. Maple syrup is the other sugar that I'm having, which is like, it's actually good for you. Maple syrup is actually good for you.
Sort of in the same vein as honey, right? Where
it doesn't initiate,
Yeah.
It doesn't initiate the same insulin response in your body as refined sugar does, or even artificial sweeteners. So maple syrup is what I put in my coffee in the morning because I need it sweetened. I can't have it just black. And Nick 6 minutes says diabetes is an adventure. Yes, you want diabetes because you want to have an adventure. Tea instead of soft drinks has been working for me. Yeah, I'm not really a big tea guy. I can drink tea, but it's not my thing. What about you? You drink tea there, Quinn?
Not so much. I don't like.
You're
I'm
more
not
coffee.
against it. I just black coffee for me. I mean, I think 6 in the mornings is definitely black coffee. But like my sweet fix with a drink is diet caffeine-free pop, obviously.
Yeah, I've been drinking a lot of pop lately. I had a Diet Pepsi today because we ordered takeout last night and it was part of a combo. But yeah, I've been drinking mainly water. And I think I'm noticing a difference, I think I'm noticing getting better, and I don't think I need this hypnotist. I certainly don't need the price tag. The price tag was like upwards of $1,700, $1,900 if I pay it in installments. If I pay it all at once, it's like it's they kill the GST on me, or the HST. So I'm like, yeah, $1,700. I don't know, sure I could swing that. Let me talk to the missus. And I just, quite frankly, I have no intention. I think I'm just going to follow your advice. If there's sweets in the house and I feel like taking some, I'm going to squeeze my belly and hold it there for 5 seconds and go, no, I don't fucking need it. Now, when I get to the point where if I go to squeeze my belly and all I'm feeling there is actual, lateral oblique muscle or fucking abs, then I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can have a fucking chocolate declare or whatever,
You want to hear my prediction? You're going to do that long enough that it's going to stop you. And then one time you're going to reach out and you grab it and you're going to grab significantly less. And you're going to look down and you're going to look at the thing and you're going to be like, fuck no.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I appreciate your advice on that. But it was interesting. What I found with this hypnotist was it's not like what you might think of with hypnotherapy, where you sit down, they make you feel calm and relaxed, and then they open you up to suggestion. It's a lot of it is the suggestive stuff, but a lot of it is also self-affirming neurolinguistics, where they're telling you, you're good, you can do this, and you've got the power to do. And that's really, you can do all that yourself. You can self-talk yourself into doing that, and that's what you said. A lot of it is not going to just be the therapy, but it's going to be audio that I'm going to send you, audio files that you're going to have access to, and it's going to be things, podcasts that I do. It's speeches that I've done. So a lot of it is like what do you call it?
Self-promotion, internet influence.
Self-promoting her life coaching kind of thing, right? And I'm like, I'll pass. $1,700 is too much to drop. I could buy a few airsoft guns with that if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Pay down the mortgage would be the smart thing, but anyway.
Hey, you only live once.
That's true. So let's move on to our main topic of the night. Everything woke turns to ashes.
That was a fantastic picture. Just fluke that I came across it in time.
Is it an AI? Is it an AI picture? Or did somebody?
No, I think that's a photograph of California.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Doubt it. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Quite frankly, let's see here. There's a couple of images from back in the day, a couple of days ago. I think I sent them to you. Hold on, let me see if I can find them. Oh no, those are the Justin Trudeau.
You know why you should be a Christian? Because God is currently striking down Sodom.
It's true,
right?
It's like true. Yeah, I mean, and it's so funny to see Gavin Newsom saying, "I don't want to make this political. I want this, I just want to get this, save lives." And dude, you're the governor of California. Of course, you don't want to make it political because this fucking falls at your goddamn feet. And he posted something on X about being. Let me see if I can find it here, because I responded to him. Not that he's going to read mine.
Still, while you look for it, you want to hear something wild.
What's that?
The whole leadership of the LAFD.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Lesbians named Kristen.
Yes. Kristen, and Christine. Yeah.
Yeah. All with a K. And different versions of Kristen. Christina, Kristen.
Like
yeah. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. What?
I know. It's like they're playing a fucking joke on California. Hold on a second. There's something. Here he is. I'll share this.
Yeah, multiple firefighters and like the firefighters union have been saying they're woefully unprepared if something were to go wrong here, and then it went wrong.
Yeah. So I'm going to share this. Share, present.
By the power of Lesbos, Sodom burns.
The only thing that I consume that has sugar is simple syrup in adult beverage. There you go. $1,700. I could get a couple of real pistols with one, or one really nice pistol. Yes, you could. By the power of Lesbos, Sodom burns. The LA fires are cutting into Gavin's hair gel budget. It's true. Watch me find out that his hair gel is Suffa Pedowood. Found his hair gel is an accelerant, and he accidentally the fucking truck accidentally spilled and jackknifed on the highway and spilled and caused the fires. Here's his post. He says, "Can I do picture in picture? Let me see. Yeah, there we go." He says, "This is an emergency. This isn't about politics. It's about making sure people are alive. I want the president-elect to visit LA County to understand the magnitude of the devastation we're experiencing right now and how we can be partners in recovery." And I just responded, "Own up to your failures first, scumbag." It's very telling that you say, "Oh, I don't want to make this political." It's inherently political because the failure is political, because you decided to cut budgets, because you decided, or
To
California,
divert water into the ocean.
yeah, there you go. That you decided to make DEI hires the focus of your LA fire departments. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous that he's like, "I don't want to politicize this." Dude, everything is political, and you're the governor. So everything that every time somebody asks you something, it's inherently political. They're not asking you because you just happen to be a Californian. They're asking you because you're the governor of the state that is fucking in flames right now. You piece of shit.
No, and like they immediately turn to climate change and start screaming climate change, and it's like, okay, this is water mismanagement of the
Yep.
government. This is
Yep.
forestry mismanagement by the government, and this
Yep.
is fire preparedness mismanagement by the government. It's
Right.
entirely their fault. They may
Trump
as well have lit the fires themselves.
Six is absolutely right. Trump told your dumbass to clean up the forest like 5 years ago, Gavin. Fuck off with that shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's an abject failure in terms of a leader. I mean, he looks good on camera. He's very charismatic, much like our former prime minister, Justine Trudeau, which is apropos for everything woke turns to ashes.
You know what Gavin Newsom reminds me of? Or
What?
maybe he makes me think? If Tim Wise wasn't available to play Leland Palmer, Gavin Newsom would have done a fine job.
I don't know who any of those people are.
Twin Peaks.
Oh, okay. Leland Palmer.
The dad. Ray
Oh,
Wise
okay.
there, yeah.
Okay. See, I've never watched Twin Peaks. I've only caught little snippets here and there and SNL send-ups of it. I've never watched the actual show.
The original's worth watching. It's weird as all fuck. It's David Lynch, right?
David
Like it's incredibly fucking weird. But yeah, I haven't watched it in a decade, maybe more than maybe 2 decades.
Yep. Didn't want to make this political.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have raked the leaves and built the reservoir that voters approved 10 years ago. Yeah, and then of course you've got Justin Trudeau talking about Canadian fire bombers are going down to the United States and helping out in this. No, they fucking lease them every year for like what is it, $250,000 or something like that. This isn't anything new. They're there every year at this time for this season.
Yeah,
exactly.
But they did volunteer the other 2 that weren't leased. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And people are talking about how Mexico's sending helicopters in to help fight the fires. I'm like, well, that's great. Mexico's trying to look good. Maybe you should worry about shit in your own fucking backyard there. And why don't you launch those Mexicos to hunt down cartel? Because if you don't do it, Trump's going to send in the U.S. military to do it. So you may as well fucking do it. Seems kind of crazy. Everybody's trying to like make themselves look good. This is like Elon Musk made that point about how he's very sick of people who are broadcasting how virtuous they are without actually doing anything. Whereas he's actually doing shit. He's making X a free speech platform.
Yeah.
With an asterisk. He's building electric cars. He reinvented the electric car industry to help reduce fossil fuel emissions by cars and trucks. So yeah, he's tooting his own horn, but he's right. Everybody else just talks about how good and decent and virtuous they are, but when it comes down to it, they don't actually do anything. It's like attitude is everything. EV sucks. Hold on. Twin Peaks was odd AF, yes. Gavin Newsom looks like yes, he does. I still think this evidence cover up for the PDD freak off. You know what? People aren't talking about it right now. Yeah, they're probably burning a lot of evidence. You're right. How many?
Thousands and thousands of celebrity homes just gone.
That's true. How many homes have blue roofs in the areas that didn't get burned?
Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah, watch that comes out the next few weeks. Look at all these houses that are just completely untouched.
They've grounded civilian drones too. Remember, right? So we're not going to. It's going to be harder to get that footage.
Actions speak loud. Exactly. Put your fucking money where your mouth is. That picture of Gavin Newsom showing up to the devastation with his hands in his back pockets is going to forever haunt him, ruining any chances of him ever becoming president. The reason he didn't take any there was no way he was going to become the person who steps in under Biden was because this fucking country's a basket case right now. I'm going to wait till 2028 when I have a chance, because anybody the Republicans put up will be eclipsed by Donald Trump's presidency, and it'll be a completely different ballgame. So I have a good chance in 2028. I don't have a good chance in 2024. So shrewd on his part. But now, because of what's happened in California, he's ruined his chances in 2028 as well. He will forever be known as fucking Gavin Nero Newscum playing the fiddle while fucking LA burns. Elon is not there. Somehow people check marks disappear. Right, the HBV1 kerfuffle. I'm not sure what that's.
HB1 or H1B visas.
H1B. Yeah. Oh yeah.
People who were speaking out just had their check marks removed, right?
Yeah, that seems very odd of him to do that. Now, we don't know if he did it or someone else at Twitter did it. We don't know if it was at his direction. Who knows?
But I mean,
the buck stops with him because he's the head of Twitter, of X, and he's the one who fucking speaks out about, X's function, right?
But wouldn't that just be proving the case that it wasn't him, that it was a bunch of his H-1B visa Indians working at Twitter who start removing people's check marks?
Could be.
For speaking out against H-1B visas, right?
Could be.
Oh, shit. Maybe you should fuck off and go back to India.
Or it could be people who are still left at Twitter trying to sabotage Elon by like a false flag kind of thing. You know what I mean? It wasn't actually X. It was bad actors at X knowing what the blowback would be. Anyway, long story short, couldn't happen to a nicer den of scum and villainy. California burned down. I feel bad for the people who lost their homes. But truth of the matter is, most of the people who lost their homes are people who, this isn't their first home. This isn't their only home. They've got like James Woods lost his house. Too bad. He's one of the only conservatives.
Yeah.
But Oprah Winfrey lost a house. Oh, boo fucking who?
But he also saved an old man's life. So
good for him. Yeah, that's right. I heard about that. Yeah. He stuck around because the support worker, when they said there was an evacuation order, the PSW who was taking care of the guy in his house fucked off and left him there.
You know why?
Why?
Because she was an illegal.
Oh, really?
Yep. So she fucking dipped out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's got no fucking, because she has no ties to the goddamn community. So, so James Woods phoned a family member of that person because he knew who could get to him, and that guy fucking rushed over to get him out of there. Right? Isn't that how it worked?
No,
I don't
no,
think
no. He was
did
far
he go over
away.
there and help him out?
He had thought, so he knew the son and called the son saying, "Your dad's still in the hospital, right?" He's like, "No, he's at home."
Oh,
And if I'm not mistaken, James Woods and his people went to the house
forgot
knowing
about
where he would be in the house and got him out. Like,
good,
yeah,
good for him. Yeah, he's a solid bloke. And now people are calling him to run for governor in 2026 because I think Newsom's term is up in 2026.
that'd be hilarious.
No, James Wood House was saved by some god intervention. No shit, eh? Did he have a blue roof?
6 and 7
Chinese are always.
Chinese.
Is there if there's a conspiracy, the CCP is involved somehow? Yeah, you know what? I know what they did with those fucking balloons that were floating all over last year. They were filling the clouds up with like tiny little nanobots that would start fires at a critical moment.
No, no, no. They would turn the wind. They would turn the Santa Ana winds just a little, and that was it. It was over.
Well, they were talking about how these fires, the one that, what are they called? The sundown fire, the one that was first reported at sundown the other night.
Hmm.
That was arson. Somebody set that ablaze.
Apparently, something like 90% of the so-called wildfires are either arson or like a human accident.
Yeah, but poor fire management. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not like a lightning strike.
Yeah, people throwing a fucking cigarette in some leaves and not realizing it. Yeah, the idea that it's global. This is the other thing that's driving me nuts. All these people talk about how people don't believe in global warming when you see this happen. Like, fires aren't caused by global warming, dipshit. It's like saying that, dewdrops, the sunlight refracts on a dewdrop and burns some underbrush, and boom, fire. I mean, I guess technically it could happen, but I don't think it happens quite that often, if at all. CCP or BlackRock, yeah. Yeah, like the lady boiling her own piss. What? Some chick was boiling her own piss? Or DPW not replacing equipment for a century. Department of Public Works? Is that what that is?
Water?
Department of Water? Maybe. Yeah, no, this is the thing. Like, it's just... And people ask me why I'm a libertarian. Because the state can't do anything right. The state is fine when things are moving along smoothly. When there isn't a tragedy about to happen. But when the state gets complacent and they do all these things where they let the reservoirs run dry, where they go, fires aren't that common. We can hire a bunch of lesbian fat chicks and they can run the whole thing. Did you see the video about the woman who got the assistant fire chief and what she said when she was asked? I think it was on Vice.
No.
There's a Vice video of her saying that it's important that we hire people that when somebody comes to your house in an emergency, that they look like you, so you feel like you're connected to them, like they understand what you're going through. No, going through a fire is pretty universally understood as being a tragedy by everybody. The person coming to rescue you doesn't need to match your skin tone. They just need to be able to lift you out of the fucking house if you're trapped under a fucking bookcase.
Did you ever watch that Dennis Leary series, Rescue Me?
Yes. Great fucking show.
I remember one of their young guys. Did he accidentally get super stoned or something? And he's a firefighter, and he's just going through a store, and he's like eating all these munchies, and he sees this really big black guy, like a fat black dude. And of course, this guy is white, right? He's like, Boston Irish or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he just says to the guy, "Hey, you need to lose a lot of weight." What? You need to lose like 70, 75 pounds. Like, if there's a fire and I got to carry you out of a building, that's going to be real slow going.
But it's true. Like, this happened in New York too. Like, probably, I think I want to say 8 or 10 years ago, where a woman demanded to be hired as a fire department because she applied and they wouldn't hire her. And she sued and said, no, you have to, because women, you can't turn me down because I'm a woman. And they're like, we're not turning you down because you're a woman. We're turning you down because you can't pass the physical of lugging 80 pounds worth of gear from the truck to the site of the fire. You can't in a certain amount of time. you can't physically lift somebody who is hurt or trapped under something heavy. You can't lift that fucking bookcase. You can't carry the person out or even drag them out because you're a woman and you're 5'6". Like, come on. This is why you're not being hired. It has nothing to do with you being a woman. It has to do with you not being physically capable of doing the fucking job. And then she sued. And then the city of New York said, nope, you got to hire her. And they fucking forced them to hire her. And
Is that
now,
when they actually changed the standard so women have a
yes,
different standard than the men? Yeah.
that's right. And that's what they've done in the military. It's what they've done in the police. The police don't even have fucking standards anymore. My dad said, like, I used to work with a guy. He was my boss at the gas station when I was a teenager, and he wanted to be a cop. When he found out my dad was a cop, he was like, oh, I want to be a cop so bad, but I can't pass the physical. And my dad told him, he's like, look, all you have to do is fucking, lose a bit of weight and you can do the physical. Once you get the job, you can let yourself go like so many cops do. But in order to become a cop, you have to pass the physical. So number of sit-ups in 10 minutes, number of push-ups in 10 minutes, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So many seconds with a wall sit, being able to run however many meters in a certain amount of time. Yeah, that's their physical, right? Anyway, they've taken away those standards altogether. And now they used to have a standard where you couldn't have any visible tattoos. That doesn't fucking matter anymore. They used to have a standard where you couldn't have any facial hair. Your sideburns couldn't even be longer than, a certain length. Now that doesn't fucking matter. You can wear a beard, you can wear a like the most the cops could wear back in the day when my dad was a cop was a mustache. And all the motor cops did because, it just seemed the thing to do.
So, funny story. They actually have the same restriction at UPS.
What? No visible tattoos,
no facial hair except a mustache.
Because they want. Yes, you're right. Jobs like Data Reaper, I'll do you one better. All jobs should be merit based. They shouldn't even have the idea of DEI just didn't earn it. It was given to you. So fuck that. No. Churn would be a lot higher if cops had annual physical fitness tests. Yes, they would. Cops get. Now here's something. Adam Carolla was speaking before Congress. Did you see this?
No.
Adam Carolla, when he wanted to be a firefighter back, a bunch of years ago, he was like 19. He wanted to be a firefighter, and maybe it wasn't when he was 19, but probably shortly after he did the Man Show. I would think that was quite a few years ago. And after he did the Man Show, he wanted to be a firefighter. He applied to be a firefighter, and he said, "Look, you're not going to be hired right now because we're only hiring Hispanics, blacks, and visible minorities. So we'll take your application." His application sat there for 7 years. Eventually, they called him and said, "Your time is up. Come on in." And he's in there to do his like entrance exam kind of thing. So he said this. So he couldn't get a job. So he ended up doing construction for 7 years, working in construction, getting doing a physical labor. He finally gets called up to go to apply. They bring him in. He's in there with a black woman who's like 5'8", and she's like 300 something pounds, right? And he says, "So what did you put in?" She's like, "Wednesday." So she had applied like 4 days ago or 3 days ago, and she was being brought in. He waited 7 years to be a firefighter. He went back. She ends up being hired by the academy, and 7 years later, she's still working at the academy, still 300 pounds, still doing nothing physical, just sort of sitting there behind a desk. And he's like, this is bullshit. Like, come on. I have the ability to do the fucking job and you won't hire me. But she can't do the job and you shuffle her off to work behind a desk somewhere. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. UPS can afford to have high standards when they're paying drivers $125K plus $20K a year in benefits. No shit, eh?
Good. So 125 a year is top rate max overtime.
So if you've been there for a long time and you're like the best driver, yeah. No jobs where employees to not interact with general public need to back off on the dress codes. To a degree, like there's a reason why you want a uniform standard in something like the police, because this is about, it's about command and it's like almost a quasi-military type of mindset. You have a chain of command. People need to behave in a certain way. People need to dress in a certain way. And if you're uniform, then the chance of anybody saying I'm a precious snowflake and I get to wear my fairy wings when I'm sitting in the cruiser, that's not going to happen if you say this is the uniform you must wear. But I see what you're saying. If you're working in a warehouse, what does it matter how you look? What does it matter what if you have face tattoos or what have you? Well, you're still working with other people. Unless you have a job alone in a lighthouse, your appearance impacts your job. So yeah, I think there should be standards.
Yeah, like I mean, I've worked the warehouse, where we don't face the customers ever, but we have a uniform, and there
Yeah.
is a sort of like camaraderie that seems to come with it. Plus, the uniform changes as your quote unquote rank does, as your position does,
Right.
right? So, like, supervisors and management have a particular jacket they wear or a particular shirt that's slightly. Everything else it's the same uniform. You can tell it's the same team.
Yeah.
But there's putting the C on it.
Right.
That's the captain of the team.
Same goes at like McDonald's, right? You can tell who the shift supervisor is because they're wearing like a business shirt as opposed to a polyester two-tone golf shirt.
Right.
Yeah. So, but no, I understand. There's probably more emphasis with a front-facing job, but the point of the matter is,
did you read that though? Read the rest of that.
That makes it easy to spot a supervisor in a pinch.
That too, right? But no, though the other one, you got to finish. Read the rest of it.
No one wants a fat, toothless Hooters girl. Yeah, it's true. Why would Hooters ever hire a fat, toothless broad? I guess if you're in Alabama. DEI didn't earn it. Yeah. No, it's like, here's the thing. Like, you keep going down this road, eventually you're going to have to hire a meth head because you can't discriminate against meth heads because it's a lifestyle choice. Right? It's insane. And I'm glad that it's sort of turning the corner. It seems like, culture war we're winning. I mean, we're going to constantly be fighting it. DEI trans Hooters girl tried to be a thing. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I can't into the trans anymore. I just forget it. Like, fuck off, you're boring. I have no interest. You're not trans, you're boring. Okay? You just have no personality and there's nothing interesting about you. So you've manufactured this facade that you're somehow different. Meanwhile, you're acting like everybody else who claims to be fucking trans. So you're still boring.
That's why I want to lean into this fitness thing.
Yeah. They'd have to rename Hooters to Knuckles. Yeah, Moose Knuckles. That's right.
Yep.
Oh man. Remember that South Park episode called where the girls were all the like girls were working at a place called Raisins?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck. DEI caused New Zealand to lose its biggest ship. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. DEI has also been attributed to a number of bridge collapses. You heard about that bridge that was designed by a woman?
All women, a team of women.
A team of women
involved in the engineering, and it collapsed. Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the reason they said that they're excited to be engineers wasn't because I've always loved machines or I've always loved structures and I've been building things since I was a little kid and I just know it's my life's work. No, it had to do with intersectional feminism and
smashing the patriarchy.
And what did they do? They smashed a bunch of cars with fucking collapsing bridges.
I don't know if they still do this, but I remember this, right? I've known a few people like from, again, 20 odd years ago that became engineers and they have the ring. They wear the ring.
Yeah.
There was a bridge that collapsed 100 years ago. Okay. All right. And they've taken metal from the scraps and they sourdough bread it where they keep adding metal to it so that it's still in there, but it's not the whole bridge anymore, right?
Right.
And they make rings from that metal, from that bridge, to remind like the thing that stands between disaster, right, and getting
Mhm.
across is you. And you
Mhm.
wear that ring to remember. Bad engineering kills people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and like here we are.
Apparently,
Oh,
the Subaru
women.
driving Lesbo captain forgot turn off the autopilot. Oh, really? I went, what about that fucking ship that plowed into the harbor in where was it? Where was it? It's like last year.
Was it Baltimore?
Baltimore. Sounds right. Is that a female pilot?
I, no, it was Indians.
That's right. They were Indian. That's right. They can't drive in Brampton and they can't fucking captain boats, ships.
Oh God, I still haven't gotten to it. The trucks, Craig. The fucking trucks. I've had this written down for weeks, and every time, every show, I've seen more of the trucks. It's happening again. We'll
The
get there.
trucks.
Remind me about the trucks. I'll tell you.
Speaking of trucks, I thought I made it. I thought I made one. Oh yeah. Freedom Convoy 2.0. Have you seen this stuff on the Twitters? People
Oh,
talking
a
about
little bit.
going back to Ottawa to protest the proroguing of government and demanding that an election be called right away. Now
A
there's a
little
bunch of
bit.
people,
I don't think it's going to have the same because he's now
no,
announced his resignation. It's not going to have the same pull.
no, it won't. But also there's people. Here's the thing that bothers me about conservative ink in Canada. There's people online now who are big sort of influencers in the conservative social media sphere talking about no, it's not the right time. No, we shouldn't do another convoy. No, we shouldn't go to Ottawa because it'll leave a bad taste in people's mouth and it'll turn us off. It'll turn people off to the movement. I'm like, we should wait for the spring. And I responded. So government.exe is corrupt. Is a big Canadian social media guy. And he's like, what do you think we should do? Should we wait till the spring? I'm like, what the fuck is the point in waiting? The whole point of the protest is to say, fuck this prorogue, call an election now. We want one in 60 days. Enough of this horse shit. And the idea is like, the plan is to go up on the 22nd, which is the anniversary of the first convoy. If they do it on the 22nd, which would be not next Monday, not next Tuesday, next Wednesday, right? That will be following the request, the decision of the request for the Crown to intervene and basically force them to open up Parliament again for the purposes of calling an election, calling a no confidence vote, and calling an election. Because the way that Justin Trudeau did the prorogue is in violation of parliamentary procedure and parliamentary precedent. Boris Johnson tried to do it a couple of years ago when his fucking government was in disarray, and the governor or the Crown came back and said, "No, you've got no reason to prorogue the government. This is a mess that you've caused. Sort your shit out. You can't prorogue the government to fight off scandal, to fight off chaos in Parliament. You need to sort your shit out." So the fact that the Governor General in Canada said, "Yeah, okay, you can prorogue Parliament," should not have allowed it. Being a true head of the Crown or a representative of the Crown should have followed precedent and said, "No, this is not a valid reason to prorogue the government." Anyway, Baltimore was because Indians can't drive anything. It's true. It's true. You just look at fucking videos of Indians driving in Brampton. It's fucking terrible. Irving be like, time to brush off the old Twitter handle again. Honk honk. Yeah, I like your current Twitter handle. Go fuck yourself in the face, or go fuck yourself in the
Yeah,
face.
Irving, fuck yourself in the face, twin, because that was
Yeah,
Elon Musk's response there.
yeah. He was quoting from Tropic Thunder, eh?
Hmm?
He was quoting from Tropic Thunder. He was quoting fucking
Yeah.
Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder when he said that. Go fuck yourself in the face.
But the trucks, okay, Jesus, the trucks,
Yeah,
and I like how he nano corrected himself. Can't drive anything. No, can drive anything. They'll drive anything badly and
yeah,
flip it and kill themselves.
yeah.
Have you
And
seen
other
this
people.
video of a tractor getting stuck on a beach in India.
Yeah.
Have you not seen this?
No.
It's terrible. Don't go look for it. Right?
Okay.
It's ugh. So big old tractor wheels in the back, tiny wheels in the front. It's stuck in the sand, and this Indian guy is sitting in the thing, and he keeps hitting the gas pedal, right? Trying to rev it to get out, but it's not. It just keeps digging itself deeper and tipping farther and farther back. So he's sitting here, and it keeps tipping farther and farther back, and then it folds. And he just, it just like
Crushes him.
yeah. No,
Like
like crush is the wrong
once
word.
you think once it started to go places, you would have realized this isn't working, and you would have stopped and said, "Okay, time to put some fucking boards under it. Try something else." And then they come to Canada and have to drive in snow and slush and ice, something they never used to driving in before. No, never mind the fact that they couldn't drive first where they are. They come here and they're driving in something that Texans have trouble with. The once or twice a year that it fucking snows there. I've seen a rickshaw pile up in Bombay. Indians can't drive. It's true. Can't be worse than the Chinese forgot close hatch sub launch video. Oh my god.
Gee.
How do you sink a Chinese submarine? Knock on the door.
Okay, so those hockey players that just before one of them's a hockey player just before his wedding,
Yeah.
right? And he was riding his bike with his brother,
Yeah.
and they were killed like a on the road. They were killed by a Indian driving a truck. Humboldt Broncos. You remember that story?
Yep.
The bus got T-boned.
Yep. Indian driver of the truck.
Driver. About, is it like 12 years ago now? In Toronto, we have this enormous highway called the 401, runs through like the middle of the city, east to west.
Busiest highway in the world, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And about 10, 12 years ago, there was this rash of summer long-haul truck rollovers that, like, a truck, 52-foot trailer carrying gravel rolls over. There was like a dozen of them in one summer, and every one of them was Indian drivers because they drive truck in India. And if you've seen Indian roads and Indian highways, they're shit. It's terrible. And then they come to Canada and they see this enormous highway, 8 lanes across, and it's like straight as far as the eye can see sometimes. And they think, oh, wow, this is amazing. I can go as fast as I want. And they're doing 150, carrying 250,000 pounds of gravel. And then they have to touch the brake for some reason. And the cab slows down dramatically, but the trailer does not slow down at all. They jackknife and roll on the highway. Over and over again, this is happening. And now, over the past month, I am seeing it. I am seeing the fucking trucks, Craig. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad this year. This was for Christmas Day. I was driving to my sister's, and this wasn't even the 401. The express is letting on, and I see a truck coming up, and he's slowing down for some reason. And I keep driving, and I can see in my mirror as I'm passing him, he's getting slower and slower and slower. It's Christmas Day. The highway is basically empty.
Yeah.
He has missed his exit.
Don't tell me.
Instead of taking the next exit, he's basically coming to a complete stop so he can turn right to get to the exit and then turn left onto the exit ramp.
Oh my god.
There's a little industrial zone near my home, and I cut through it sometimes to get to the grocery stores on the other side. And what did I see? This tractor trailer had lined up. They do it all the time. There's a lot like to reverse into the parking lots of some of these industrial places.
Yeah.
And he reversed. They have to reverse this way to get the trailer to go that way. And then he dropped the cab in the ditch. And the cab rolled over, and the trailer didn't. But the cab is on its side in the ditch.
Oh my God. And here's the problem, though, because they sort of fast track these foreign workers into Canada, and the people who are fast tracking them are other Indians who have been here long enough to set up businesses, trucking businesses, uh, driving instruction businesses. Like most of the like apart from Young Drivers of Canada, most of the other driving instructors, they advertise the fact that they are newcomer friendly, and they speak Punjab, they speak Hindi, they speak what is it, Guadalajarian or Guadalajarian or something. They speak a bunch of languages from Southeast Asia, and yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's just like you're bringing your shit here. I get you want to come here for the opportunity that Canada offers, but you're turning it into frozen India. It's fucking terrible because you're bringing all the horse shit that you deal with there here because you're not adapting to the way we do things here. You're not following the rules of the road because you come from a place where you drive where there's an open space. You don't drive in a lane. You don't, those lines on the road, they don't mean anything to you. You think it's just, oh, fuck, there's lots of space here. I'll just move into there. I'll straddle the two lines because there's room to do it. It's fucking terrible. If you just look up on YouTube, Brampton drivers, and just fucking find all the crazy fucking videos. And when you say, well, Brampton, what does that mean? Brampton is like predominantly Indian at this point.
Yeah.
Unless you get to the really expensive areas, and even there, it's mostly Indians who live in Brampton. Anyway.
And it got less coverage, but there was a rash of the same, I think, last year, like early in the year, still snowy season in Alberta.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like the way it was Toronto was dozens in Toronto. This was all over Alberta because it's a little more sparsely populated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But trucks going off the edge of mountain roads, all Indian drivers.
Oh my God.
Because what was happening was they could go to a school in Manitoba run by Indian people. They would give them their AZ license, and then they'd go back to Alberta saying, look, I have this AZ license. It would get converted, but they don't know how to drive the snow. They don't know how to drive the mountains. They don't know how to drive the ice.
No, because Manitoba's
Manitoba's
a big flat fucking plain. I mean, it's not Saskatchewan, but it's relatively flat. That's insane. Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like there's no fucking guardrails. Nobody fucking cares because everybody's like, it's not my problem. And this is the problem when the government employs it's the biggest employer of the country. There's no accountability. They don't fucking care. So the licensing system for starting a driving school, they have a checklist. Does it meet these requirements? Bump, 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 bump. Yes. Okay. But it doesn't account for things like how well you speak the language, how well you can read the signs, how well you can teach that information to the people who are learning to drive, people who are learning to drive trucks or buses. Like, you know what? Here's the thing. When I'm on the highway, and I don't go on the highway very often because I mostly do my driving in and around the city, around like where I live. But when I go on the highway, if there's a truck, if there's a truck in front of me or beside me, I move past it as quickly as fucking possible.
Mm.
And it drives me nuts when I see people who are too afraid to pass the truck. I'm like, it's safe to go now. Just fucking go.
Yeah.
Like they'll sit in the lane next to it, but not want to overtake the truck. I'm like, his lights aren't on. He's not making any indication that he's changing lanes. Gun it and get past him. Because I get your trepidation. He might just change lanes without putting his lights on. And he might not look that you're there. But you're faster than him. So fucking go. Anyway.
I had nightmares about it last night. No, this afternoon during my nap. Nightmares about trucks. Driving onto my course.
Pick up the place with shitty food. They infiltrate companies till one of them is CEO, and then they fire all the non-Indians. Yep, that's what's happened with Tim Hortons.
So, and it's not even CEO. literally what will happen is
Oh, it
one
is
Indian will get on the hiring team, and then suddenly all of the applications are Indian because they're literally throwing away non-Indian applications.
Yeah, because they know because, and it's not even well, I mean, maybe it is. I don't even think it's overt racism. Like, fuck those white people. I think it's like, got to help my fellow Indians.
No, it's worse.
So,
So
you mentioned this. It's the caste system.
In India, there's a caste system. Every interaction, personal, professional, is a power struggle, right? And when they come to Canada, they find out if you do that in the workplace, people will complain and you'll get in trouble. So they try their best to replace them with Indian people who will play that game.
Right.
They don't. It's not that they like other Indians; they actually hate them, right? But they want to be able to treat them abusively. Yeah.
And they know the names. Like, they know that if the guy's name is Patel, they're like, oh fuck, there's a million Patels. They're probably very common. They're probably very lower caste, so I can push them around. Right. So
yeah.
Oh, his name's Singh. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm hiring a Singh. Absolutely. Anyway. Yeah, man. So Canada, failed state. U.S. can go ahead and buy it anytime they want to. They're really this like fucking story. This like a sound bite is not dying, eh? About the United States absorbing Canada or annexing Canada. It's not going to be an annexation, and I keep trying to correct everybody on that. It's not going to be an annexation. It's going to be an economic union.
No, it's not even that.
Then why are they all run hotels in Canada and the United States?
Patel is middle of road banker cast. No.
You don't think there's going to be an economic union between Canada and the United States?
No, I'll tell you what Trump is doing. You go to the gym.
Yeah.
You've had a trainer. You haven't worked with me though. That'll be hilarious. Not as a trainer, but as a gym buddy. You have a gym buddy, right?
Yeah.
And you're going for a squat. It's heavy, and you're like, not quite 90. And your friend goes, "Lower, faggot." He's not calling you a faggot. He's pressing you to get it done.
Yeah.
And this is what Trump is doing. He is ribbing the shit out of Canada, goading Canada into getting its shit together. Right? You're supposed to be my best friend, my closest economic partner, my military ally. Why are you not carrying your weight? Do it, faggot.
Yeah.
Push. You can do this. You have
that may be all it is. I'm still of the
100%.
mind that ultimately, because here's the thing, Poilievre is no Trump. He's not going to turn shit around in like 6 months to a year.
No.
The tariffs are going to land on Canada, and it's going to make things more expensive. It's going to make our economy that much fucking harder. It's going to make things that much harder. But so ultimately, I think what's going to happen is we're going to be negotiating from a place of weakness. Poilievre, for all his economic acumen, is not a forceful character. He's a smart guy. He's clever, but he doesn't have a lot of big dick energy, as it were. So he's not going to be able to negotiate with Trump and come out with Canada being on the good end of it. You know what I'm saying? It'll be more of along the lines of like, we're going to take what we can get. And I think I also think that a North American union is inevitable in order to push back against BRICS, because BRICS is fucking huge at this point, and the United States, they don't want to play ball with the EU because the EU are a bunch of useless idiots, useless bureaucrats who don't give a shit about being weak. They're happy to be weak as long as they get what they makes their leaders rich, makes their people who run the place can maintain their level of comfort. They don't give a fuck about their people.
I do think your idea of fighting BRICS with an economic union is not accurate, because the thing about BRICS is it doesn't have a standard currency other than gold, right? Like,
but it also has nations from all over the planet as opposed to
right, but they can trade in their own currency.
Yeah.
right? They don't say we're not going to work with you unless you have Russian rubles. It's like, no, Indians trade with rupees, and if they have rubles, they'll use those too.
Right.
And it's the multiple currencies that is making it work and is making it, what's the word, attractive to people, right? Attractive to different nations, because yeah, we can't have that kind of like Amero thing for all of North America. It's a terrible idea that will crash the two poorer economies. What we need to do is actually do our part in the alliance we're supposed to have, and that's what Trump is pushing us to do. He doesn't. I don't think he
Well, I
wants.
hope we do. I hope we do. I still like the idea of a gold-based common currency, though. I think that'd be a good idea. Now, here's the thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but people in the European Union, they have the EU, the euros, the dollar, the
Yeah,
euro dollars, but don't they also still maintain like French francs and I mean, I know that Great Britain still has their pound. Don't the other nations still have their own
I
internal currencies?
I don't know how many of them still use their original currencies. What I do know is the countries with the weaker economies that got absorbed into the European Economic Union thinking this is going to be great,
Yeah.
all watch their economies collapse,
Yes.
right? And it's like they've still not properly recovered. It's not a good idea, right? Like the same way that a national minimum wage in the US raised to $15 an hour would completely destroy so many different states because they don't have that.
Right.
Right? Like it would ruin their economies. Even within the US, you can't have like
No.
a single economic policy. It's a terrible idea.
I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea. I'm saying I think it's inevitable. I think it's going to happen, whether we like it or not. And all I'm hoping for is if it does happen, and they do decide we're going to have a a single currency. If it does happen, I think it should be gold backed because we still have tons of gold here in Canada. So
I think it wouldn't be inevitable if Canada got its shit together. It would actually be impossible and foolish for Canada to do so.
do you trust that Poilievre's going to be
Not at
able to get
all.
it together?
Not at all. Because there's one of two things that he can do that would immediately make that a foolish move for Canada. Notwithstanding clause, like what's his name? Take a page out of the PPC playbook. Notwithstanding clause to force the construction of a pipeline to the Pacific Tidewater, or notwithstanding clause to reverse the flow of our existing pipelines to get our oil to Atlantic Tidewater. And then we're selling oil on the international market. Why the hell would we join currencies with the US? You want to talk about like net energy exporter? If we could get oil sands and LNG to the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be like, why would we do that? We're so much richer than you. like
Yeah.
per capita, we'd be crushing them.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, and no one's doing it because Quebec doesn't want to reverse the pipeline. Fuck Quebec, get out. You're now a
Yeah,
vassal. You're now a vassal.
that's another thing people are pushing out on social media as well, as opposed to people saying, "Oh well, let's not wait for Quebec to vote to be to separate. Let's just say fuck off. You're now you're a territory within Canada. You're your own sovereign territory within Canada. Fuck you. Make it go on your own." Like Newfoundland took forever to join Confederacy. It wasn't until the 70s or 80s that they became part of the Canadian country. Like they were considered a separate territory. Um, so yeah, do it to Quebec. And there's people now arguing about should you be forced to you want to work in government at a higher level like prime minister or in the House of Commons, you should be forced to know both languages. I'm like, no, fuck that. Canada is an English country. We're part of the English Commonwealth. Quebec is an outlier. Knowing Quebecois doesn't hurt anybody, but there should be no requirement for anybody to know it. Fuck that noise. They are a minority in this country. The fact that'd be like saying, well, the indigenous people, the Métis, or the Algonquin, they were here first, and so everyone should learn to speak Algonquin because they're a distinct culture. Fuck you. I'll speak Algonquin if I want to speak Algonquin. Same thing goes for Quebecois. This is an English country. There is one province where that is not the normal language spoke, and mainly because of their own social engineering practices. New Brunswick, which has a strong Quebec contingent or French-speaking contingent, still speaks mostly English.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, fuck this. You need to speak both languages. No, fuck that. We have translators for a goddamn reason. So,
Ajax tells us Poland, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Denmark, Romania, Sweden, and Croatia have dual currencies.
yeah, so they trade in euros. Like they have when they have something on the shelves, it has the euro price and it has their whatever Croatia's currency is called. Like, and I think Greece for the longest time used the drachma, and then eventually they became so insolvent that they had to basically bend the knee and do everything the EU told them to do. So they
Same
probably
with
got
Italy's lira, right?
yeah. But you won't because you far too many eco libtards.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Yeah, Canada is run by a bunch of fucking babies, and that's the thing. I think Pierre Poilievre is saying all the right things. I don't believe he means them. I think Pierre Poilievre is a career politician who considers polling in everything he says and does, and I don't think he's strong enough to go up toe to toe against Trump. He's probably a slight bit better than Trudeau, but and Chrystia Freeland and whoever else is going to be the finance minister eventually, but only because he has the economic chops. He knows the economy. He knows finance, but I don't think he can negotiate with Trump and have Canada come out smelling like roses. I think we're going to eat our lunch. He's going to eat our lunch, so to speak. I got a better idea. We will trade you California for Alberta. Fuck that. I don't want California.
Yeah, I know.
And we're not losing Alberta. Alberta is the only sane place in this fucking country. So Gretzky for prime minister, eh? I don't know what Gretzky's politics are, so I'm not going to say anything. Canada man for prime minister. No, me. I'm running for Liberal Party leader. I got $350,000 raised. Hey, that's a Nano Reaper. Oh, he's just saying hey. Make the Quebec speak English and French lost the French Indian War. Here's the thing. If you're not familiar with this, Quebec had their language police. They had a language legislation they brought in back in the 1970s, where basically if you had a sign, not only just sign, but any internal documentation in your office, if you had a sign on your business, it had to be in French. And if it did have any English on it, it had to be like 2/3 smaller. They forced Tim Hortons to remove the apostrophe in Hortons because they don't use apostrophes in that way in Quebec. Even if you had like a sign above your photocopier in your office, an office that isn't open to the public, okay, and you had a sign on the photocopier that said, be sure to remove your paper once you're finished with your photocopier. It had to be in French, and it had to be in French first, even if your entire office spoke English. They forced English speaking, because there's a large English contingent in Montreal. They forced English students to go to bilingual schools. This way, and they had police coming around to your business to check to make sure you were in compliance. And if you weren't in compliance, you would be fined. Certain businesses fought it. So businesses like I think Burger King, they said no, Burger King is a trademark. We're not changing it to meet your laws. It's not just our name, it's our logo too. We're not changing our logo. So yeah, they fought. Exactly. So there's a few companies that had the money to fight it in court and ended up either settling or getting out of it okay. But no, Quebec became this basically dictatorship in the 1970s that basically oppressed every English speaker there. Melina's parents, my wife's parents, had a business in Quebec, and they left because of these language laws that were brought in, because they were English-speaking Quebecers. Now, they could speak Quebecois, but they were of English descent. They were traditionally English, and they didn't like how their business was being treated. They didn't like how they were being treated. They didn't want their daughters growing up in that situation, so they moved to Ontario. Yeah, it's all fucked up. Quebec can get the fuck out as far as I'm concerned. What do we got next?
What do we have?
Okay. Our long national nightmare is over, kind of. So, in case you weren't aware, Justin Trudeau stepped down or resigned as prime minister, and then prorogued the government immediately, or asked. He can't prorogue the government. He can ask the governor general to prorogue the government parliament.
But he didn't step down. He said,
That's
"I'm
right.
going
He didn't really
to step down later."
Yeah, I'll step down
Anyway.
once they find a new liberal leader.
Anyway, Canada's closed.
Yeah, that's it. Government's shut down. I'm gonna go fucking escape. I'm gonna go snowboarding. Anyway, so yeah, our long national nightmare is over, but not really.
No, and I mean, it's just so much time until then. I bet there's going to be some sort of weird fuckery. He's going to pull some shit. Like, I don't even know. I can't even imagine what he could pull, but I see it happening.
Citroen 2CV forever, or Renault. You can only drive Renault. Has anyone done a study to see how much the GDP suffered due to language police in Quebec? I'm sure somebody's done it. Quebec's economy fucking is terrible. And you know what? It's shortly after that I think the transfer payments came into being, because Quebec's economy suffered, and that's when they started doing transfer payments from the richer provinces that were actually, industrial fucking giants and were making money hand over fist because they had lots of natural resources. They all started to send millions of dollars to Quebec every year because Quebec's economy sucked. They literally want every English speaker out of the province. If they could do that, they would be happy, except for the drain on the economy it would be. But they don't care because their culture is more important than the economy. Not just any Renault Le Car. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Justin Trudeau's out, but it was very anticlimactic. Yes, because he didn't just step down. He's holding off on him officially resigning until the Liberals have a chance to refill his spot, right? Which is horseshit, because normally they have a Liberal Party leader election, like a contest where Liberal Party members get to vote. They're not going to do that this time. They're going to pull a Democrat thing where it's all going to be done behind closed doors and somebody's just going to be shoved in there. Probably going to be Mark Carney.
If he's smart, he won't do
it. Yeah, let's hope he's smart and he doesn't do well. He turned down the finance minister gig, eh?
Good. So maybe he is smart.
Well, he only turned it down after Trudeau's the idiot in this scenario, because Trudeau went to Chrystia Freeland and says, "I'm going to ask you to resign as finance minister. I'm going to replace you with Mark Carney." And that's when she put out a resignation letter. Yeah, I'm going to resign. And not only am I not going to be I'll resign from your cabinet altogether. I won't be your deputy PM. She's not deputy PM anymore either, is she? So there's a PM who's on his way out. And I don't think anybody's been picked up as deputy PM at this point. Karina Gould wants to be prime minister, wants to be the leader of the Liberal Party.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah, this Aria guy, this Indian-born person who somehow came up, who nobody's ever heard of. He's some sort of like Liberal Party member, or he's a minister who's like, he's not on any cabinet positions. He's not on the back bench anywhere. He's not doing anything. He just happens to be an MP. Somehow came up with $350,000 to run for Liberal Party leadership. And everybody's saying the money came from India, so he should be disqualified. Mark Carney, if he's picked as the Liberal Party leader, he cannot sit as PM because he's not an elected member of Parliament. He's just a guy. So I don't know how that's going to work.
No, yeah, he would be the only
He wouldn't be able to sit in Parliament.
Who didn't have a seat.
That's right. He wouldn't be able to sit.
No, but that's not right, because even if a party leader doesn't win their personal seat, somebody else vacates their seat and gives it to them.
But that person who vacates their seat, they're still an elected minister, right? They've still been elected.
Justin Trudeau will vacate his seat and give it to Mark Carney.
Then someone will have to vacate their seat for Mark
Justin
Carney.
Trudeau. Justin Trudeau has his seat.
Right? Yeah, I guess so. But don't you have to be but here's the thing, in any event, don't you have to still be elected, an elected member?
No. That's what happens. The party leadership, like let's say Justin Trudeau was elected leader.
Right.
And then they have an election. And the Liberals win enough seats to be the government, but Trudeau loses his seat to a Conservative. Oh. One of the other members vacates their seat and gives it to Trudeau because he's the leader.
So the member who vacates, they're not a member anymore. Then they're not an MP any longer. Then
correct. Yeah.
So they go back to their private life.
I mean, I'm sure they'll find a job for them somewhere. They won't just bye forever.
See, that's the thing. They could have avoided all this fucking nonsense of failed confidence votes and calling on Jagmeet Singh to back them. They could have just said, you know what, Jagmeet Singh, I know you're fighting for your pension. Fuck it, we'll give you a Senate seat. We'll put you in the Senate. Back us in the no confidence vote. We'll put you in the Senate. It's a lifetime appointment. You don't even have to show up for work, and you get paid X thousands of dollars a year. That's probably illegal. Yeah, it's probably illegal to do that, but fuck it. Who cares? The government doesn't give a shit about legality. So anyway, minister without portfolio. Yeah, there you go. And this conversation is exactly why Andrew Tate will never be prime minister. He doesn't understand the parliamentary system. Andrew Tate, he wants to be prime minister. Where does he want to be prime minister?
England, the Bruv Party or something.
Jesus Christ. That guy's a meme. Yeah, because you can become the next liberal leader of the Liberal Party of Canada for the low price of just $350,000. That's the situation with this Arya guy, this Indian-born guy, who basically said, it's kind of funny. He said, "No, fuck it, Quebec. It doesn't. I don't need to speak French. Fuck that. I don't care." So in that sense, I kind of agree with him. It's like, but you don't speak French, so what? He can barely speak English. He's got a very thick accent, thick Indian accent. Now he'll get the Brampton vote for sure, unless he's of the wrong caste. But he'll get the Brampton vote for sure, except from the Sikhs. He won't get the Sikh vote. He'll get the Hindu vote. Okay, he claimed to be running for PM. Yeah, 350K Canadian. Yeah, well, Canadian. So
200,000
US, 200-something thousand US. There you go. And all you have to be is a Canadian citizen, not natural born, mind you, and 35. No, you don't even have to be 30. You have to be 18 years old. In the US, it's 35 years old. And to be 18 years old and be a Canadian citizen.
Yeah, there's some really weird fucking stuff with this, like party membership and voting rights. Like, you don't have to register as a member, and I think you can be as young as 14
to vote
for the leadership.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a leader.
No,
like, you don't have to be a nominee or to put your name on the hat. Yeah,
but you don't have to be a permanent resident to vote for the leadership.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane. You just have to have an address in Canada.
I just think you have to be here. I think if you happen to be here on vacation,
you're just visiting.
Yeah.
Oh my Christ.
So what you're saying is I can be PM of Canada for the low price of 2 Bitcoins.
That's right. That's right. Man, yeah, Canada is not a serious country. I have more than 2 Bitcoin. Oh, good for you, man. I have none. Anyway,
I think I'm going to start converting all my money to Bitcoin.
All of it?
Yeah.
The cash isn't worth anything, so we may as well.
Yeah, and get like a Bitcoin debit card that just does a conversion automatically.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking for the Amero. It's like Bitcoin is already the global currency. We just need to accept it.
Now, is there any banks or financial institutions that do that?
Probably
Like
not.
probably virtual ones, right?
There is some sort of I think I don't know if it's got attacked, and I can't remember what it's called, but there was this weird place that they were saying we're not a bank. We do a lot of stuff banks do, but we're not a bank. We're a gold holding operation.
Okay.
So what happens is you lend us your money and we use that money to buy gold. Okay? As the price of gold goes up, therefore, the value you have in our quote unquote account, which is not a bank account, also goes up like interest, right? And then you can take some of that money out and we sell the gold to give you the money, right? And it seemed to be working. People were doing it. And I think some governments stepped in. Bitcoin debit card from Coinbase. Oh, baby.
Yeah,
Now we're talking,
they've got a Canadian one too. So
which is basically the same idea as this gold nut bank.
so basically, I get myself a Coinbase debit card, right? Even if I don't have any full Bitcoins, I can put some Canadian money in it, and that goes towards buying Bitcoin. Is that the idea?
Yeah, that you throw your money down and buy whatever percentage of Bitcoin you can buy at the time. Bitcoin
Yeah,
fluctuates up and down.
sure.
And if Bitcoin goes up, you have more money. And when you tap your card, it converts your Bitcoin to your local currency and spends that currency and leaves you with the Bitcoin.
Dude, there's a Pepe coin.
There was also a Hak Twa coin.
I know the Pepe coin is it's worth 0.000026 Canadian dollars.
Is she going to prison? Is Hak Twa
I
girl
have
going
no
to prison
idea.
for that
I
shit?
think she got taken. I think she got taken for a ride herself. Like it might have been her thing, but I don't think she knew what the fuck was going on. She just wanted to do a live stream. Anyway, I've made about $200 playing with the Pepe coin the last couple of months. That's hilarious.
That's not bad.
That's all right.
For a meme coin worth like less than 1,000th of a Canadian cent. Yeah.
It's just a cool coin, right? Pepe coin. I currently have 6 million Pepe coins. That's hilarious.
6 million Pepe coins in 4 months. I don't know. Doesn't sound possible.
Let's convert 6 million Pepe coins. US dollars. Okay, let's say buy Pepe. How much does it cost to buy some Pepe coins? Well, I got to create a Coinbase account. I have no idea how to do this shit. It's all Greek to me, baby. Cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is currently at $136,686 Canadian.
How much?
Now, what's that?
How much did you say?
$136,686 Canadian. Ethereum's at 4,800, 47.49.
Yeah, I should have got into Ethereum when I thought to.
Dogecoin is 50 cents. It's 49 cents for a Dogecoin.
Decent.
Yeah. And it's been going up. Like it shows its trends too, right?
It's just a matter of like, I'm not sure the details on how to explain it quickly, but like how the coins are managed or not managed, right? Like
Yeah,
Bitcoin runs out, there will be an end to Bitcoin.
right.
So you can't have like what do you call that? Venezuela money. That's
Right,
worth
where
less
it just
than
explodes because they print more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a finite amount. Once
yeah,
it's all mined, and that's however much Bitcoin is in the system.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it's just a matter of people trading it back and forth for different goods and services. Yeah.
Where like Venezuela had a problem where they were creating so much money out of nothing that their money was worth less than World of Warcraft money, which
Yeah.
is by its nature an infinite production of money system
Yeah.
with no end and no real value, and somehow Venezuelan currency was worth less than
Yeah, they would bring up fucking wheelbarrows full of fucking bills to go and buy a fucking loaf of bread. They were issuing. What was the country that just recently issued a $1 billion bill?
it has to. Oh no, it's not Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has like the $100 trillion bill.
Oh, that might be it then. Zimbabwe has a bill that's 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollars. Like, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I probably should, I just don't know. I mean, I know Bitcoin is the one to get because it's finite. I just don't know. Like, okay, so Ethereum, is it in the same? Is it a blockchain?
Something like that, and it's been around a while, and it was one of the earlier ones that was like,
But is it
oh,
also one of these finite ones where they're not going to print anymore? They're not going to
I'm
mint
pretty
anymore.
sure that yeah, it is one of the it's basically modeled after Bitcoin, right? Um,
Interesting. Ethereum is a decentralized computing platform that uses ETH, also called Ether, to pay transaction fees or gas. Developers can use Ethereum to run decentralized applications, dApps, and issue new crypto assets known as Ethereum tokens. Ethereum is a decentralized blockchain platform that aims to support a global network of applications. Its goal is to enable users to build and run software resistant to censorship, fraud. Okay, so it's for people who are developers. It's not really something that you can be traded. What is the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Pox is currently siphoning small gains into a compound interest account. Good, good, excellent. What you need to do is keep your average buy-in below current value. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I mean, if my idea of just putting everything into Bitcoin and having a Bitcoin card, there will be fluctuations, but Bitcoin always goes up, right? So it's like a massive compound interest account every time you don't spend money, right? So it's like, oh, you know what? I'll buy that next week, and next week it's basically free.
Right. There's a market cap on crypto, meaning there's a limit to how much can be made, right?
Mm.
Same as Zimbabwe dollars, XRP, Algo, BTC, and my esoteric crypto bro is saying I think Flare network connected coins. Oh, okay. It's cheaper to wipe your ass with 100 trillion Zimbabwe dollar note than use toilet paper. That's funny. Oh, I got some stickers on my mug.
What does that say?
It says,
I'm only responsible.
yeah,
Ah,
not for what you understand. And then I got this. It's a foil Sturge sticker. I think they
it's
call it something different in Shadow Dark, but it's essentially a Sturge.
it's too foily to see clearly, but
Yeah, you
it
can't
looks
really
pretty cool. Looks winged and cool.
see better now, maybe.
A little bit, yeah. Gross.
Yeah, I just found some stickers. I'm like, I'm going to put those on this cup. I don't know why. Just did. Anyway, I don't know what else to talk about, man. Talked about so much. There must be
You know,
something we're missing.
we're always missing something.
Yeah.
But I told you this before we went on. I just don't care this year. Like,
It really is hard to get. You know what? I'm just waiting for the culture war. I'm just waiting for the liberal tears and all the fucking purple hair freaks that wind up in asylums.
I don't even think I'm going to enjoy that. Like, I mean, we started this year with a terrorist attack in New Orleans and bombings in the Trump Tower in Las Vegas, and then there's marches for Palestine and fucking the government's collapsing and like wildfires are burning down LA. It's like, okay, yeah, this is more of the same to me, and I just don't care anymore. You know what I care about? The gym. I'm
I care
really
about,
enjoying it.
there's one thing in the world apart from the gym, and of course my home life and stuff like that, and my dad. My dad's going back home on Tuesday. Um, Meta fired the fact checkers. Yeah. I might not even be tears. It's just going to be fire and blood, I think. Yeah, it could be. I'm looking forward to the inauguration of Donald J. Trump. I think that will be an inflection point on what's going to happen in the near to medium future. I took the Monday off, so I have the 20th off. I'm going to watch it. Thinking I might do a live stream of the inauguration. I don't know yet though. It's up
That'd
in
be
the
cool.
air. It's up in the air. I got to take my car in, maybe get some winter tires. The wife's saying you should get winter tires. I'm like, yeah, I probably should. Do you have winter
I
tires?
got winter tires. It's great.
Yeah, it does make you feel a little bit more safe on the road, for sure.
Well, also like way back when I drove a little Nissan Frontier.
Yeah.
They're much larger now, but mine was like 2005. Look it up. It's a
Mhm.
cool looking truck. And even in the 4x4, it's just so light that it did not handle in the snow. Like I was just all over the fucking place. You know what I mean? Like just ass end swinging. And then I was like, okay, I've got to try. I've got to see how, like, I can't imagine it's going to be that much better. And I put winter tires on it, and my God, like, I felt like I could, climb 85 degrees of ice in those tires. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make a difference.
Oh yeah, that does look like a little truck. Not
Yeah,
a
it's
huge,
cool, right?
not a huge. What do you call it? Bed, but still.
No, but I actually had
No,
the
you don't see trucks anymore without a second row. They don't make trucks that are just the front row and a window to the bed. I
so
don't
I
see
actually
them.
I had a quad cab, like a crew cab, so that you
Yeah,
can and the extended bed. So yeah, 7-foot trailer bed in this tiny little truck, and I could cram 5 people into it if I had to.
yeah.
Uh, you know, it's a fun truck, real fun truck. Sometimes I miss it, but
I kind of want to get a pickup truck. I'm thinking my next car might be a pickup truck. I keep saying that, but I ended up buying like another Mazda 3. So I've had 2 Mazda 3s. I had a Mazda Protege before that. So yeah, Mazda. There's a Mazda house. The wife buys Mazdas. She bought a Toyota RAV4 one year, but since then it's been Mazdas.
mm,
So anyway, yeah, they do, but it's only full size in the Tacoma. Is that right? So these are essentially work trucks. They don't have a second row. They just have a front seat and like a front bench and a little bit of space behind. Yeah. So Nano Reapers made a ton of money on the crypto. So
yeah.
is that what you're talking about? A yacht? You bought yourself a 33 footer?
Oh, he wants to.
Yeah, do it, man. You cash in some of your Bitcoin, buy a 33-foot fucking yacht, and then sail the loop. Do the loop. Go to Greenland once it becomes part of the United States. And you can go to the Panama Canal once it comes back under U.S. control.
So, what about tabletop RPGs? Are we ever going to get back on that? Because that was wild.
Yes, you know what? I was thinking about it, and I was talking to Pi about it earlier in the week about the plan. So here was my idea. I have this YouTube channel sort of lined up. Pox has been sending a couple messages. Let's see what he sent here. What does he send me here? Major earthquake is likely in Southern California, most likely in Los Angeles or Ventura County during the next 50 hours. Oh my goodness. January 12th to January 13th. Oh no. What's the Richter scale on that? And who's putting that out? Earthquake prediction. Okay. They don't say what the estimated Richter scale will be.
11. The whole thing's going to fall into the ocean finally.
It would be quite dramatic and kind of appropriate for Sodom to go under. Yeah, so the Mad God Gaming channel. Here was the idea. So it would be The Mad God would be your GM, which would be me. And I'd look like a crazy old god with a white beard. And we would have a rotating cast of players, which would include two staples, which would be you and Pox. And then we bring in two people every week or whenever we hosted it. So what would happen is we would do the introductions. We would go, it would be a one shot that we would do. I would get a plot hook and a setting that would be formulated by AI. I tell you, here's your setting. It's like fantasy or it's sci-fi or something completely off the wall. And then you guys would have like 4 or 5 minutes to create characters. Your characters don't have stats. You're just describing what your characters like and what they're good at, what they're bad at, what their quirks are, that kind of stuff. So everything's narrative in that sense. Then we spin a wheel. There's these wheel spin programs online you can find.
Okay.
And by spinning the wheel, that determines what system we're playing under. It could be Fate, could be D20 roll high, could be D100, could be, could be a Jenga fucking tower, could be anything. And then I would come up with a game and you guys would play your characters in this setting. And it'd be a 2 to 3 hour session. And we'd have a beginning, middle, end sort of story. And we just wing it. And the Mad God would just throw out shit from time to time that would like just cause shit to be crazy. And the people in the chat could throw out ideas as well that could be incorporated in the session. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I'm yawning. It would be incorporated in the session and just make it kind of chaotic. What do you think of that idea? I don't know. Or do you just want to play a fucking traditional? Let's play Rifts. Let's play fucking Mutants and Masterminds. Let's play.
Well, I like the idea of an ongoing campaign where the characters, hopefully don't die, and every week we come back and
Okay, so you'd rather do a long term kind of thing.
Yeah, like where we have like a monster of the week, or Pox was saying we need a set day, even if it's just one a month. So we have like monster of the month, but also with a longer term goal in mind. That
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm doing but I had a yacht for years. I made the money. Started working for governments, but not as a government employee. Oh, you're a contractor. Interesting. Yeah, okay, we can do that.
So something funny. Everybody you meet on the internet named Reaper is a private military contract sniper.
Is that right?
Something Reaper. They're snipers.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of Reapers, have you ever watched Dead Like Me?
Yes. Oh my God. My biggest disappointment with that show was that it wasn't well understood and it only had 2 seasons.
I've recently gotten into it because it's all on YouTube now, right? There's a channel that's just got every episode. Yeah. So I'm on season 2. I think I'm on episode 8. But that Ellen Muth chick, man, she's just so something about her.
She's weirdly cute, right?
Yeah, she's not like
traditionally looking
cute or traditionally attractive. She's weirdly cute.
Yeah, she's unnaturally skinny. She looks like a monkey, and I want to hit that.
Yeah. She's no longer in entertainment though. She's not an actor anymore.
She was in a couple episodes of Hannibal.
Yes, she was. And she was in a movie as well that had to do with I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, yeah, she was in a couple of episodes of Hannibal. But now she raises Burmese cats. She breeds Burmese cats.
Cool.
I have no idea if she's married or not, but yeah, she's got a YouTube channel called the Ellen Muth Project or something, or Ellen Muth Experiment is what it's called. And it's mostly shorts of her with her fucking cats. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, I got into it. I just got sucked into it, and I've been watching it like crazy. It's like a pen dispenser. Yeah, she's gone really fucking crazy skinny. Eh? She looks nuts.
Well, they're all taking Ozempic for no reason, whether they need it or not, right?
Is that it?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Have you heard about this phenomenon called Ozempic head? Basically, people's heads are too small for their bodies now. So as if it causes them to be disproportionately small-headed. I don't think it does anything to their head. I think it just changes their proportions a bit. Like when you start to lose weight, your
In the
body looks
face.
bigger. Yeah, your face looks smaller first. You lose the weight in your face first.
Well, I'm also under the impression it damages heart muscle and does brain damage. So
I wouldn't doubt it. She looks
yeah.
like she seems like she's gone fucking crazy. I think I might start taking NMN though. See if that drives me nuts.
Oh, well, you can get it from my boy, our good old Canadian boy, Greg goddamn Doucette. He puts it in his GO2 Max that you should be
Oh, okay.
coupling with his Turk builder. Yeah.
So he doesn't have NMN on its own. It's in his Turk builder. Is that it?
No, it's in the GO2 Max. So Turk builder and GO2 Max combo is apparently very popular. And yeah, I want to give it a try. Just to give my Canadian boy a try, because you know what? Like, there was some stuff that he had said that I realized, oh, this other supplement I tried, maybe it was
Mhm.
garbage. Like
Yeah.
maybe it's not that it doesn't work. Maybe it's that it wasn't in there. Like, because there was this whole thing. You know, I spend too much time on 4chan. That testosterone does nothing. Well, Greg Doucette bought like 50 different people's testosterone supplements and then sent them to like a science lab to do the analysis. Most of them didn't have testosterone in them,
Yeah.
right? So they're testing all the pills, and it's like this pill has like 7% of the testosterone it claims to. And then he sent his in to get tested, and they have as much as 107% of the
Yeah.
testosterone on the label. So it's not that testosterone doesn't work, it's that they're selling you something that is garbage. It's put together badly, and for whatever reason, it like the value of what they're putting in it doesn't. I don't know how they could mispackage it, right? Maybe that's what's
Right.
happening with creatine. Maybe you're buying shitty creatine that isn't creatine.
No, I'm buying pharmaceutical grade creatine from Popeyes, and I don't think they sell shit there. So
Okay.
400 milligrams of nicotinamide mononucleotide. That's pretty good. I don't know what the daily amount is to see any benefits, but it also has vitamin B9, which is methyl tetrahydrofolate, vitamin B12, methylcobalamin, sodium, of course, sodium nitrate, ATP, ancient peat and apple extract, black pepper fruit extract. This is their GO2 Max,
Yeah.
peak endurance performance supplement. Okay. And then what's the one that has the testosterone in it?
Turk builder.
There is Turk Builder Plus. It's 40 capsules for $70.
Greg is always pushing those vitamins. Yeah. And what is the other Canadian YouTuber? The one that drank all the banned energy drinks. Is his name Will Tennyson? Is he Canadian? I didn't know if he
Yeah, I
was.
think he might be. It's from Uzbekistan. So only the Uzbek stuff is good. Is that what you're saying?
Well, because it's an actual plant, right? And
Right.
so they're getting it from China, and their supplement from China isn't actually that plant.
Right.
So, yeah,
And they say don't trust China. China is asshole.
yeah, and I
I
mean,
gotta add that. I gotta add that to my fucking sound bar.
but I love Greg Doucette. He's hilarious.
He is good.
And honestly, for the most part, I do like his advice. Yes, I don't begrudge him selling his product. You know what I mean? But his advice seems to be like, don't eat garbage and work hard. Be consistent. Like he keeps it really, really simple unless you're looking for something more specific.
Yeah.
Buying supplements from Timu, what could go wrong? Um, but these aren't even like Timu products. It's like, the influencers that are selling their stuff, right? So that's why a lot of it gets a bad rap. And if you see an influencer pushing something, it's like it's probably garbage. Because a lot of them, yeah, they're getting it manufactured in China as
Yeah.
cheap as possible, selling it to Americans for a whole lot of profit, and it's not the product that's promised. It's not that that product doesn't work; it's that you didn't get it.
The fuck was that?
No idea.
I'm on SoundCloud looking for that Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole. Anyway, Voicey. Yeah.
They're white labeling Temu supplements. Yeah, okay, sure, basically. But that's why we had, if we were gonna do like a strictly fitness Instagram or specialized channel like we're gonna do for RPGs, have
Yeah.
to call it pushing 50. Pushing 50.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. Well, I'm over 50, but you're getting there.
Yeah. And a
You
nod to our boy.
about Ariana Grande. Yes, she does. He's always pushing those vitamins. Yeah, I think it is Tennyson. You're right. Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of stuff about NMN and turkesterone, like you said, and Tongat Ali. I don't know if Tongat Ali does the same thing or does anything better. I hear you need to take a ton of it for Tongat Ali, and you need to be taking it for a while for it to
So
actually have effect.
that might be an indicator that it's not the product promised. They say there's 200 milligrams of it, but there isn't. If you do the analysis, it's like 20 milligrams. So you have to take 10 times the amount to get the effect, because then you're actually getting the amount you're supposed to take.
Right.
Right. So I was thinking about, giving Greg's combo there, his Turk stack or whatever. Turk Builder and GO2 Max together. Right. He says it works. He says he's had it tested and that it's actually the product promised, and that, and I've just been getting so much kick out of his videos that I was like, okay, why not throw a good old Canadian boy $100 and see what works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No problem.
So where do you see that option on his stuff?
Oh, so there was actually a deal on it that you can get the two together for some discount or something.
Oh, okay.
But I don't. Maybe the deal is over. Maybe it was like a Christmas season deal. But yeah, you watch enough of his videos and he'll tell you these things. Take them together.
Oh, here it's called the T plug stack. Yeah, here it is. T plug. Yeah, it's $124.97. It's Turk Max and GO2 Max. I love the images he uses. Some guy fucking dealing drugs.
Well, it's him. That's him. His hoodie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Pushing 50 keys across the border.
Remind me just getting my Turk from my T plug. Has he been on Mike Israel's RP channel yet?
No, because Mike Israel hates him with a passion.
He hates him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they've
normally I know he fucking disses people, but he doesn't normally diss them like when he normally does these like roast videos of their here's your work, here's what I think of your workout. He normally goes like it's like, I don't like that. That's shit. What are you doing? That's stupid. And then I go, but I love you, or but look at those delts, or something like that.
I don't know how they had some sort of beef or whatever, but Mike Israel did take something very personally. I'm not even sure what. And yeah, like
Greg Doucette is like intentionally inflammatory. He is, right?
Yeah. That's what makes him hilarious.
He's got it. He's got a persona that he projects. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trolling harder than last time. Right.
Yeah, I know he was not dissing, but he was basically calling out Lean Beef Patty, because Lean Beef Patty put out a video of her at the gym, and she was complaining about certain things, and he's like, look, you've got body dysmorphia. That's your problem. You think you're fatter than you are. You're actually amazing. You look great. And she was complaining about how her stomach looked or something like that. And she's like, no, you're on a bulk and you're putting on weight and you got body dysmorphia. That's your only problem. Otherwise, you're great. Anyway, yeah.
No, yeah, he's usually strangely nice about the way he trolls and rips on people. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whatever
it's
he's doing, Mike Israetel, or maybe they'll bury the hatchet because it'd be cool to see them together. Because I still like watching Mike Israetel stuff, and I'm using the RP app, and I really do like it. I do think it's well put together. So, are you using a book?
using a book
Are you
for
tracking your weight, your workouts in a book?
no, you know what? I don't have to anymore because it's so again, I have an actual routine that I've been doing for a long, long time. So it's all
Yeah, yeah.
now in my head.
No, but do you know week to week if you've gone up in reps or down in reps, and how were you like 3 weeks ago in reps, that kind of stuff? Are you
I can't tell you specifics of 3 weeks ago. I can tell you
yeah.
that yes, I am making progress week over week and month over
Right?
month. Right. But
Because
yeah, like
there's a subset of I see these guys at the gym all the time. They got a little book and a pen, and every time they do a set, they write down
yeah,
how many reps, when it hurt, what rep it hurt, you know, and then they compare it to the last week, right? So they have it on a calendar in their little calendar book,
yeah.
and then so yeah, it's kind of neat.
Well, we used to do that for like kung fu, right? That you have like a book that you every day, every lesson you're writing down what you practice, what you train, what you new things you learned, things you refined from that, right? So I understand the value of it, but my what's it called? My routine is so like simple to me now, like in my head now. I know what I did last week. I know what my maxes have been and whether or not I'm doing more reps or not. Like
Well, I did. So this app I'm using basically week over week, it's getting me to increase my reps by one on the same weight, or depending on how I reported my routine, it's upping my weight. Like if I said on the last time I did this exercise that it was pretty good, or it wasn't very, it was easy, pretty good. If I say push my limits or it was too much, then it'll either scale back the weight or won't change the weight at all, or won't change the reps. But if I say it was pretty good, then it says, okay, well, if it was pretty good and you don't have any joint pain, and you told me that you healed a while ago on this particular muscle group, you can increase the weight. So your next week sessions for this particular day, the weight's going up by 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever, right? This is keeping me at the same pound for my bench press because I reported a lot of joint pain and I reported that it pushed my limits. But it did increase my reps. So I was able to hit my new rep goal on both sets. So I'm like, okay, this is doing what it needs me to do. So yeah. So
I think if you're having joint pain with bench press, you're having form issues.
yeah, it's exactly why my joints hurt. I have a shoulder impingement because of a bad bench press form I did like a month ago. And since then, every time I go and do bench press, I feel it on my shoulder. It's not terrible, but it's there. You know what I mean? So anyway,
Yeah.
and I've
Maybe
been
we'll
trying to
talk
use the
about
bands. I'm just not sure I'm holding it long enough. I'm not sure if like when I stretch above my head and pull it down, or when I stretch in front of me and I pull it apart. I'm not sure I'm doing it long enough or I'm doing it slow enough. I don't know how well it's working. I haven't been doing it with a lot of consistency though. So guys like that range 2 recording wind speed, humidity, temp, etc. for every shot. Yeah, I can see that, especially if you want to do long range, like distance shooting for sure. Anyway, I think you know what I think.
Mm.
I think it's, unless you have anything else, any Irving
Oh,
oddities.
I know what no.
I was going to move right to final thoughts because I don't have any jokes. You have a joke?
So I sort of have a joke. Yeah.
Do it. Let's go.
Well, I mean, you remember a little while ago I had heard that really good one about that guy who dipped his balls in glitter. Pretty nuts, right? Um, so there's also a guy, he's invented a thought controlled air freshener.
Okay.
It makes sense when you think about it.
Oh my god, that's terrible. I heard a joke earlier. I can't remember what it was though. Fuck. I gotta write them down when I hear them. Anyway, time for final thoughts. Everybody, I want to thank you for listening to us tonight, ramble on about random stuff and get incensed about things that really shouldn't matter. I'm going to take a page out of Irving's book and just not care. Because remember, everybody, that everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Everybody needs a bosom. Mine's on the 45. And with that, we say goodnight.
Hail Sycamore.
I'll watch the outro.